13 Lessons from Marcus Aurelius to keep calm. Stoic philosophy. When we talk about calmness, inner strength, and the ability to stay steady in a chaotic world, few figures in history represent these qualities better than Marcus Aurelius. He was not just a philosopher thinking quietly in isolation. He was the ruler of the powerful Roman Empire, responsible for millions of people, constant wars, political pressure, and personal struggles. Yet despite living in such intense circumstances, he developed a mindset that allowed him to remain calm, disciplined, and wise. His thoughts were written in a personal journal that later became known as Meditations, one of the most influential philosophical works in history. These writings were never meant to be published. They were reminders he wrote to himself to stay grounded, to control his emotions, and to live according to the principles of Stoic philosophy. What makes his ideas so powerful is that they are just as relevant today as they were nearly 2,000 years ago. In a world filled with stress, social pressure, endless distractions, and emotional reactions, the lessons from Marcus Aurelius provide a timeless guide for maintaining peace of mind. If you have ever felt overwhelmed by life, frustrated by other people, or anxious about things you cannot control, the Stoic wisdom of Marcus Aurelius can help you regain balance and clarity. These teachings show us that calmness is not something reserved for monks or philosophers. It is a skill anyone can develop by training the mind to see the world differently. One of the most important insights Marcus Aurelius shared is the realization that our emotions are often created not by events themselves but by the way we interpret those events. When something unexpected happens, we immediately attach meaning to it. We call it unfair, frustrating, or disastrous. But Stoic philosophy encourages us to pause and examine whether the event itself truly has the power to disturb us. According to Marcus Aurelius, the answer is often no. The real disturbance comes from our judgment about the situation. Imagine two people facing the same problem. One becomes angry and overwhelmed, while the other remains calm and focused. The difference between them is not the problem but the interpretation of it. By recognizing this truth, we begin to understand that our peace of mind is not controlled by the outside world. It is shaped by our own thoughts. Marcus Aurelius constantly reminded himself that he had control over his mind and that nothing external could truly harm his inner character. This mindset allowed him to face war, betrayal, illness, and political pressure without losing his sense of stability. When we adopt this perspective, we begin to realize that calmness is not about eliminating difficulties from life. It is about strengthening our response to them. Challenges will always appear, but our reaction can remain steady and thoughtful rather than impulsive and emotional. Another powerful lesson from Marcus Aurelius involves accepting the reality of human nature. Many of our frustrations come from expecting people to behave according to our own standards. We expect honesty, kindness, and fairness from everyone we encounter. When people fail to meet these expectations, we feel anger and disappointment. Marcus Aurelius approached this problem with remarkable clarity. He reminded himself every morning that he would encounter people who were selfish, ignorant, arrogant, or dishonest. Instead of being shocked by such behavior, he prepared his mind for it. This simple practice allowed him to maintain calmness when others acted poorly. He understood that human beings often act according to their limited understanding of what is right. When someone behaves badly, it is often because they lack wisdom rather than because they deliberately want to harm others. By recognizing this, Marcus Aurelius was able to respond with patience instead of anger. This perspective does not mean we should accept harmful actions without boundaries, but it helps us avoid wasting emotional energy on resentment. When we understand that people are imperfect and often driven by their own fears and misunderstandings, we become less reactive and more compassionate. This shift in mindset protects our peace of mind and allows us to respond to difficult situations with clarity rather than emotional chaos. Marcus Aurelius also reflected deeply on the temporary nature of life. Everything around us is constantly changing. People grow older, circumstances shift, and even the greatest achievements eventually fade into history. At first glance, this idea may seem unsettling, but Marcus Aurelius used it as a powerful reminder to focus on what truly matters. When we remember that life is temporary, many of the things that once seemed overwhelming lose their significance. Arguments, insults, and minor inconveniences no longer feel as important when viewed against the vast passage of time. Marcus Aurelius frequently reminded himself that countless people who once held power, fame, and wealth are now forgotten. This reflection helped him avoid becoming obsessed with reputation or approval. Instead of worrying about how others judged him, he focused on living according to virtue and reason. This perspective can be incredibly liberating. When we stop chasing validation from others, we gain the freedom to live authentically. Our decisions become guided by values rather than by the opinions of the crowd. Recognizing the temporary nature of life also encourages gratitude. Every moment becomes more meaningful when we understand that it will never return. Another lesson from Marcus Aurelius teaches us how to transform obstacles into opportunities. Life rarely unfolds exactly as we plan. Unexpected problems appear, goals are delayed, and circumstances change without warning. Many people view these obstacles as signs that something has gone wrong. But Stoic philosophy offers a different interpretation. Marcus Aurelius believed that obstacles are not interruptions to life but essential parts of it. Every difficulty provides an opportunity to practice resilience, patience, creativity, and courage. When a challenge blocks our path, we can either complain about it or use it as a chance to grow stronger. This mindset turns adversity into a form of training. Just as muscles grow stronger through resistance, our character grows stronger through challenges. When we begin to see obstacles as opportunities for growth, we stop fearing them. Instead, we approach them with curiosity and determination. This perspective transforms the way we experience hardship. Instead of feeling defeated by problems, we see them as chances to develop the qualities that make life meaningful. Marcus Aurelius also placed great importance on focusing on the present moment. Many people spend much of their lives trapped between regrets about the past and worries about the future. We replay old mistakes in our minds or imagine disasters that may never happen. This constant mental wandering creates unnecessary anxiety. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that the only moment he truly possessed was the present. The past could not be changed, and the future had not yet arrived. By focusing on the present moment, he was able to act with clarity and purpose. This approach does not mean ignoring the future or refusing to learn from the past. Instead, It means directing our attention toward the actions we can take right now. When we concentrate fully on the present moment, our minds become calmer and more focused. We stop being overwhelmed by possibilities and instead deal with reality as it unfolds. This simple shift in attention can dramatically reduce stress and increase our ability to make wise decisions. Self-discipline was another cornerstone of Marcus Aurelius' philosophy. He believed that true freedom comes not from indulging every desire but from mastering one's impulses. When anger, fear, laziness, or pleasure control our decisions, we lose control of our lives. Marcus Aurelius worked constantly to strengthen his discipline so that his actions would be guided by reason rather than emotion. This required daily effort. It meant choosing patience instead of anger, courage instead of fear, and responsibility instead of avoidance. Self-discipline may seem restrictive at first, but in reality it creates stability and confidence. When you know that you can rely on your own character, you become less dependent on external circumstances for happiness. Your sense of control grows stronger because your decisions come from thoughtful reflection rather than impulsive reactions. Humility was also a defining trait of Marcus Aurelius. Despite ruling a vast empire, he reminded himself that he was simply another human being subject to the same limitations as everyone else. Power, wealth, and fame did not make someone superior in character. What truly mattered was how a person treated others and how faithfully they lived according to their values. This humility allowed Marcus Aurelius to remain grounded even in a position of immense authority. It also made him more compassionate toward others because he understood that everyone is struggling with their own weaknesses and challenges. The teachings of Marcus Aurelius continue to inspire millions of people today because they address universal human struggles. Stress, anger, fear, and uncertainty are not new problems. They have existed for as long as human beings have lived in complex societies. Stoic philosophy offers practical tools for handling these emotions with wisdom and composure. By controlling our judgments, accepting human nature, remembering the temporary nature of life, transforming obstacles into opportunities, focusing on the present moment, practicing self-discipline, and maintaining humility, we can cultivate a calm and resilient mind. If you enjoy learning about powerful ideas from Stoic philosophy and want more content that helps you build mental strength and inner peace, make sure you subscribe to this channel and join our growing community. Your support helps this channel reach more people who are searching for wisdom and clarity in a noisy world. Subscribe now and stay with us as we continue exploring timeless lessons that can transform the way you think, act, and live.